All right, and we are live. Hello, happy Friday. Welcome to Freedom Friday. Freedom Friday. How you doing, Michelle?
Hi, Crystal Lord.
Oh my gosh, so good to have you here for this conversation for Freedom Friday. For those of you who are tuning in, I would love for you to comment. And if you're here live, say hashtag live. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And so, Freedom Friday came about just a little over a month ago. I've been doing these weekly sessions on Friday. And I started talking with some of my colleagues and friends of mine about that are fellow entrepreneurs like yourself, Michelle. And we got to thinking like we work 24/7 basically when you run a business. And I talk a lot about boundaries in my programs, and a lot of people are feeling this burnout and this stress and overwhelm. And so like really I've been focusing a lot on self-care and being present. So today's message is all about the power of the presence, mindfulness and self-care and meditation, and just really taking the time for yourself. And so Freedom Friday actually came from like really taking a whole Friday off to do whatever you want. Or maybe it's another day throughout the week. And maybe you find pockets of freedom. And so that's where Freedom Friday came about. And so my goal is to really just kind of guide different conversations around people stuff, things that impact us as leaders, as business owners, as spouses, as parents, as friends. We have to play so many roles in our life. And I think we're constantly balancing and juggling, this they say this work life balance. There we strive for this perfection and this perfect life to balance it all. And sometimes, especially I think as women, we carry the weight of everything on our shoulders. And so I just really want to bring to light the grace and the space to be able to just be and give yourself the gift of recognizing what freedom is to you and being able to act on it. So Michael says, "Oh, hi, Michael! Oh my gosh, freedom is my word for the year. I love it." So Freedom Friday to me is really being able to be flexible. So I get to block off my calendar if I want to, and maybe it's a random Wednesday. So when next Wednesday, I'm actually blocking off my calendar, and I'm going to spend a whole day with a friend of mine in Michigan. So that I'm at a business conference. I'm traveling. I'm going to go see her. We're going to spend the whole day. So I'm going to have Freedom Wednesday next week and just really pour into friendship and camaraderie and collaboration. So I would love to hear from you, Michelle, as my special guest today. I would love to have you like just introduce yourself to our community here and let me know what Freedom Friday is to you. And then I want to share some tips.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, Crystal Lord. I'm so excited for you to go meet your friend in Michigan. Like it's so important to, take a day and shift it, whether it's from Friday or to Wednesday. So kudos to you for doing that. My name is Michelle Steiner, aka the Gemstone Mama. And I create gemstone jewelry to empower you, to empower women to be the best that they can be with the use of gemstones and crystals. And it's not just making a piece of jewelry. It's literally telling you the history behind it, what it can do for you, what the different gems stand for, and how it can empower you. I speak mostly to women, but men too. We don't discriminate here.
Mhm.
And that jewelry business has actually also led me to being a Pinterest strategist because I was looking for a new platform. So I jumped over to Pinterest and dove deep, and now I'm helping other people succeed over there. So that's a little bit about me, Crystal.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. And you have helped me so much over on Pinterest. If you all don't, are, if you're not on Pinterest, I don't want to say you're wrong. That's what we used to say in the military. If you're not doing this, you're wrong. I think it has to be for the right fit. But most businesses, like you always say, I think are can do really well over there. And so I just want to say thank you for helping me. I love to tell our story where we spent New Year's Eve together and strategized. And I think to me, that was freedom because I was able to find someone that like yourself, a strategist, a Pinterest strategist, to help me see, like, I see the vision that I want for my brand and my life and the legacy that I want to leave in my mission, but I didn't really know how to do it, right? And so for me, like, freedom is being able to collaborate with other experts and other people to just lock in step and say, "Hey, I don't know, show me the way," right? And hopefully I've been able to do the same for you in fitness and in health. And so I think this is like, I think we talk a lot. I know it sounds like cliche, collaboration over competition. I think in like high school and college, we kind of have some mean girls, like there's people can be mean and judgmental and have this comparison. I talk a lot about comparison and jealousy, and I see this a lot, not only with myself but with my clients. And I just think it's so freeing to be able to just be surrounded by other powerful women that we can help, just break down some of these barriers, these big walls that we have, these tough outer shells, and say, you know what? I don't know it all. And I'm not perfect and I don't have it all together. Can we kind of just hop on a call and figure this out? Let's do this. And you did that for me and you unlocked so much freedom. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh,
So
you're welcome.
when it yeah, when it comes to Freedom Friday for you, what comes to mind and what ideas do you have to implement, like, kind of your version of Freedom Friday?
Yeah, that I mean, I love this question, and it's something that I actually never thought about before. And you know me, I'm not kidding when I say last night I was actually lying in bed, and before I go to bed, I kind of give some gratitude about, what I was thankful for or whatever. But since your Freedom Friday shows, um, I was thinking to myself when I go to bed at night and I said, today is a good day. Today was a good day. That's freedom to me. Yesterday I had some complications at work. Some frustrating situations came up and I was able to work through them. But last night I didn't go to bed saying today was a good day. So when I can lie down at night, feel peace in my heart, have my mind clear, because honestly, that's what it is. Freedom to me is a clear mind that you're doing good, that you're helping somebody, even if it's just one person, whether it's a family member or anyone else, a client, it's fine. And I saw the comparison, and it's truly because of the Freedom Friday rooms that I was able to acknowledge the night before. Today was a good day. Yesterday, not a good day. But don't leave it at that. Reset it. How am I going to make today? Today, my plans, I was supposed to be on 2 Zooms. They didn't work out. They both canceled on me. Crystal Laura asked me to come on. You know what? You just flipped the switch for me. Today is a good day.
Yay! I love that. Thank you for sharing and for sharing your story. I think, you know, when we see, especially if you're watching this on YouTube or maybe you're on LinkedIn or Facebook, we're omnipresent. We're everywhere now. And these are skills that we have had to build over the years. This did not come easy for me. Really. And so many times we see that. We see the highlight reel. We see, it looks really fancy. That I have a lot of really great tools, right? So if you want some tools to have the fancy studio here, I always say it's really no fancy studio. It's just really, really great people and being authentic and raw. So I just love that you share your journey and your step, because I too, like, I'm an emotional intelligence coach, right? I study the brain and I study human behavior, and I have to practice this every single day. And flipping that script is so powerful, and being able to pause in the moment. And so maybe this is a great time to just kind of dive into a couple of the tips that we want to kind of bring to the community here today, because I see it because I study the brain and I study human behavior and I do this work all the time. And this is what I help women do, is really recenter and refocus and have an amazing relationship with themselves so they can love themselves every step of the journey. And I'm really on a mission to help empower every woman put themselves and their health first for just 34 minutes a day to reduce the stress and overwhelm of life and live a more fulfilling life. And I see it every single day. You see the pain, you see the anxiety, you see the, like, I call it spaghetti brain because I've been there before I started journaling. Before I started, like when I first started my business, I was like, "Ah, ah, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to get all the fancy equipment. I got to like more, this fancy thing. I got to do that. I'm not doing enough. They're doing better. They have more followers. They have a check mark. Like, and I had to like really just sit with myself. And I started doing a lot of journaling, started doing a lot of meditation, started doing mindfulness. And and so I think the biggest thing and the first tip that I really want to share is number 1, make the time for yourself. And I know it sounds like silly, but you really need to schedule that time for yourself and your individual needs. So I've been working from home since 2017, um, well before COVID. I was one of the first remote workers. Like it was just coming out, like this is this glimmer of hope of remote work, right? And I had transitioned off of being on active duty, and I've been in the military almost 21 years. And I was active duty for almost 10 years, met the man of my dreams. We moved away, and I had to resign my full time position in the military, go down to part time, move away from my friends, my family, my career, everything I knew to a brand new city where I knew nobody. This place was tiny, as tiny place as Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, with my husband who worked 40, 70 hours a week. Um, I was alone. I was alone and I didn't have a job for 6 months. I spent a lot of time in solitude. And so I want to say this because I don't share this story enough. This life, a lot of things that I've been through, I've been spending a lot of time with myself. And people ask me like, how are you so confident? How are you so poised and under pressure? How are you able to run all these marathons? It's because I spend a lot of time reflecting, and I'm very intentional with that time. And I'm an extrovert, so I'm very intentional with building community as well, but also taking a step back and reflecting and spending that time. And in my Crystal Clear Life Planner, like I actually published a planner. This is the paperback version of it. There's a spot in the morning where you spend 2 minutes of goal setting. I love how you start with gratitude and a positive mindset, 30 minutes of movement, and then 2 minutes of reflection in the evening. So this actually maps out the guide for you to be able to be present with yourself, even if it's 4 minutes a day. And I love to listen to music while I do my journaling with my coffee. And I really just spend that time of like, okay, what do I need today? And then also, who else needs me today? So I can really be intentional with how I'm going to align my needs and maybe set some boundaries in my life, not only for myself, but for the people around me so that I can feel that presence and be intentional with that presence of like, I actually write down every single day, who can I make smile today? So I'm like, I want to be present. I want to have a present moment with another human every single day. Working from home is lonely. Running a business can be lonely, but we don't have to do it alone. And so I think it's really important for you to recognize, what are your needs? Do you need human connection? Are you missing it? Do you need girl time? Are you missing it? Do you need a vacation or a trip or a retreat, for instance? Are you missing that? When was the last time you did something for you? And when was the last time you actually thought about your own needs? And so, side note, shameless plug. Yes, this is an ad because it's my show, the Freedom Friday show, Cruise Beyond Limits. I'm running a retreat in Costa Rica where we can be intentional with our needs and our wants and our values, and we get to design the life that we desire. So, if you're feeling this overwhelm and stress, and maybe a little bit of anxiety, or maybe lack of direction, maybe you're in a season of change right now. Maybe the kids left the house and you're an empty nester, or you've been taking care of your parents, or you're a caretaker for other elderly people that have just really kind of run you ragged and you've put yourself last, this is the space for you. So my next one's coming up May 3rd to the 8th, and I have 2 spots left. So I would love to have you. It's the week before Mother's Day. So for those of you who are last minute people, like hop on board. This is going to be a beautiful transformational 6-day all-inclusive retreat on the top of the mountain in this mansion in Costa Rica. It's freaking beautiful. So if you want this, want the information, I'm sure my team will. Oh, Annette, of course. I love this is freedom too. Delegating some tasks and having a team that you just feel supported all the time. One of my powerful statements I say every single day is I am supported. I feel supported every single day. I never feel alone anymore where I once was. So it's a really great gift for you. If you're interested, my team dropped the link before below. I'd love to have a conversation and see what if this will, if it's a good fit for you. So making time for your needs is important because a lot of times if we have unmet needs and conflict, we have to know what our needs are and we have to kind of understand what the other person's needs are. And when we can do that assessment, it takes time, it takes deliberate intention, but we can start to peel down the layers and break down some of those barriers in conflict. So I'd love to hear from you, Michelle. What are your thoughts on really like just putting yourself first? And
Absolutely.
what are your tips?
Yeah, absolutely. And I could hear your story a million times, Crystal Lore, and every single time I pick up a new nugget from you, you got into the whole remote thing before the rest of the world, and that you felt isolated for 6 months. You were like, and I think just sharing that stuff alone is freedom. Like being able to just dump it and then leave it and move on is such freedom. And a lot of us, and like you said, our social medias are pretty. Yesterday I was not having the best of days. I didn't take a great social media picture. I took one that said, basically, I'm fried, I need a pause. So it's okay. We don't need to be that picture perfect, on our social medias. I think people appreciate more the story that they hear from you. And one thing that look, I love working with crystals, obviously. And one thing I do, we get into a flow during the day. We get into our flow of our work. We're on our computers, or we're on the phone, or we're on Zooms. And that's a beautiful flow. But to keep that flow going, if I don't intentionally take a 5 to 10 minute break during that flow is automatically destroyed, whether I think it is or it isn't. All of a sudden I'll get sloppy with something, or if something goes wrong, I get frustrated and I try to untangle it. No, just shut the computer, shut the phone, walk away. What I like to do, and this week for me, is all about amethyst, because the outside world, the news, everything this week, and I think that's part of what's been my negative flow going on here, is you get these pop-ups on your phone. I got to turn them off. So this week it's obviously a lot of pop-ups with news. So I was like, I need amethyst this week. And thankfully it's getting a little bit warmer here in New Jersey. So one of my favorite things to do when I take my break from my flow is literally take off my shoes, my socks. I know this sounds weird, but please try it. It's really, really gratifying. I can't even tell you. I grab a crystal and I'll just stand on the ground. So, like I said, this week is all about amethyst for me. So, this amethyst is sitting, I don't know if you guys can see its little peaks and valleys. Looks like an ugly rock
So
from the back,
beautiful.
right? And then you turn it
Hey,
over
and I match. I'm wearing the purple.
and you match. It's amethyst week, I'm telling you. And I'll just take this and I'll just stand outside barefoot. And whether or not I just feel, it's almost like a fidget toy. I wish you guys could feel it, but it's I can't tell you the energy that it pours into me. And then standing barefoot in the ground, people call it grounding, is just such an incredible way to take a break. And if you're not all into the taking your shoes and standing barefoot, I happen to love being barefoot, whether it's on, I prefer a sandy beach or some ocean water, but we have to make do. So, whether it's just, honestly, freedom is just releasing everything, just releasing it. And that's what grounding does. And the earth just kind of sucks into my bare feet, and it just feels so good and calming. And like I said, it's even better with a crystal. It doesn't have to be a big crystal. I've got my little towers, just hold on to it if you want. It doesn't have to be anything. It could just be you and your mind resting for 10 minutes, and then go back to the flow. Go untangle the knots that were formed 10 minutes prior. Go take on those tasks. And I swear, if you look at it from a different angle, your answers will come. And that's all we need sometimes. Do a handstand. Attempt to do a handstand. Look at the task from a different angle. So that's my
Oh,
tip.
I love that. Oh my gosh. And I loved how you were really just kind of recognizing when you need to get up and do that. Because I think so many times we want to push, right? And it's easy to just keep pushing, and it's like, and it's almost this like neediness. It's this like, I gotta do more. I gotta do more. I gotta do more. And sometimes, and I learned this back in college, the law of diminishing returns, right? We can be so productive until we're not, and then we, right? And I recognize it, especially in the health and wellness space. If you're not hydrated, if you're not eating the proper nutrition, if you're not moving your body, like I teach boot camp, so you got to move your body. That's part of the 34 minutes, right? We have to top off everything, or else our brain is not going to be at 100% too, right? So I love how you're able to recognize it though, to and pause. I think there's so much power in the pause. And I do a handstand. I've never done that before, but now I'm going to, because I love doing handstands. But I will take I'll leave my phone and go into the bathroom. So I call them toilet moments or shower moments, because it's undistract. It's you're not distracted, right? So those are my couple tips too. Like, leave your phone, leave your screens, like walk away, and or turn on your do not disturb notifications, right? I think there's so much power in that. It's just like, you don't need to be accessible 100%. And if going into the I'm going to be 40 this year. I'm at the point where I have to go, when I go into a room and forget why I'm there. I have to go back to the other room to remember. Like, it's a thing, I guess. I don't know.
Wait till
Um,
50.
yeah, can't wait. Um, so I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your tips and the grounding techniques. I can't wait to put my toes in the sand.
Oh,
Oh gosh. So there's this beauty though. Like, I think so many people, you're either a beach girl or guy, or you love the mountains, right? Or maybe something, a combination of both. Or maybe it's snow. Hopefully, you're not in barefoot out in the snow. But I think so many times we can, if we need those things, how can you bring some of those to your current house, right? How can you bring, maybe it's a scent, maybe you have an essential oil, because I was having a conversation with one of my friends earlier about essential oils, and how the brain actually, like, you remember certain scents, and you can put yourself in a space to bring more calmness and presence to your life. And there's certain scents that are my favorite. Eucalyptus mint for me, like, it just, I love it. Um, so I have it in the shower, I have it in candles, I have it in I have it everywhere. Um, so that was just my other tip. So
I have these
did you have something?
these infused. I'm just only showing this because you're talking about
Yeah.
essential oils. So this is one way that you can carry that oil with you during the day without having to whip it out. Is you just put a drop. I've created bracelets with an infusion bead on it. These are lavas, so they
Oh,
hold the scent. So you just drop it on and wear it all day. And if you're on a Zoom or you're not in a space where you can have your thing, it's right here on you all the time. Just wanted to
oh my gosh, I love that.
talk about that.
Um, yeah, no, that's great. How can we get in touch with you? What's your website or your links?
I'm the Gemstone Mama on Instagram, and my company is called Dylan Ari Gems, DYLANARI Gems, and that's my website. Thanks, Crystal.
Yay. No, thank you. I just want to make sure while we're here, if people want to
Thank you.
get in touch with you,
They can
or
find me through you.
yeah, me too. Yeah, send me a message. I'll definitely get you connected with Michelle. Okay, this has been great. So number one, we want to make time for ourselves and our needs. And just one more thing I want to focus on, because with relationships and with conflict, we have to be able to articulate our needs in a positive way, not with high emotion and stress and blame and shame and guilt and all the negative energies, right? So I think the more you can articulate your needs, spend some time. So if you need to do some grounding, if you need to spend some time alone, if you need to have a retreat, come check out your needs. Like, really dissect, what is it that you need. And it's so easy to say, well, I need to take care of my children, or I need to do the business, I need to do all that. No, like, What do you need? And I just want to encourage you and challenge you to really look within and start to unpeel those layers. And that once you unpeel them, that is true freedom. The second tip that I wanted to share, maybe topic that we can discuss about, is the power of being in the moment and paying attention to details. And I think, we kind of touched on it a little bit with, walking away, grounding, your grounding technique with the crystals, and being able to like touch something else. Really, like when we take maybe like closing our eyes, we can hear different sounds. I know in Costa Rica, like you hear the all of the nature of the trees, and then the birds, and the like everything, the monkeys and the howler monkeys, and it's just really cool to just be present and like touch, see, feel, and use all of your senses. So what questions or comments or tips do you have with regards to like paying attention to special details?
Yeah, me or is
Hmm.
somebody on stage?
Yeah.
I didn't know if someone was on
No,
stage.
it's just you and me.
Just me and you, yes. Yeah, paying attention. And honestly, Crystal, your description right now, my mind went there. I was like, oh my gosh, it has been so long since I felt that. I mean, I was just, and I'm talking pre-kids. I've got 4 children. So yes, I've taken vacations with them. We were just lucky enough to go to Atlantis. But was I mentally present there and hearing the sounds? No, not necessarily, because we're with 2 other couples, children everywhere. So hearing your description, I was like, oh my gosh, you just put me there. And that's so important for that moment, is remembering those things, and it's so easy to forget to take care of you and remember those special moments. So I think it really is important to get in touch with what's happening at the minute and bringing yourself back. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go to Costa Rica. It's May 3rd is actually my birthday. And I was like, maybe I can do this. Be a nice little birthday present for myself, because you need to be reminded, take some time alone. Just take some time. It's okay to take a sabbatical, whether you're a mom or an entrepreneur, whatever. If you work, it's okay to take a mini sabbatical. Do it, and keep those memories embedded in your brain to carry you through to the next one.
Oh, I love that. And I love being unplugged too. Like the power of unplugging. I know your recent trip, we had some technical difficulties on social media. You had shared. Are you willing to share kind of the power in that pause?
Oh yeah, that was such an unintentional pause. I can't even tell you. It was more like I'm at the airport, we land, and I had all these things planned out. Okay, I'm going to take video here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. It was all work related, that I actually had my content laid out of what I was going to do, because I'd been there before. So I knew the land. And for some reason, the minute I stepped off the airport, I was getting messages. Oh my God, your Instagram may have been hacked, your Facebook, something. And then all of a sudden, I got no Wi-Fi for the 4 days that I was there. And it's very different. If this was probably a year ago, I would have been furious, and I would have spent the 4 days trying to figure out, arguing with the hotel. Why is my Wi-Fi not working? I can't work. You know what I did, Chris? I said, oh my God, this is a great break. I took what little video I could. And even my kids said to me, it's okay. You know what? This is a sign that you needed to take a break off the phone and enjoy the ocean, enjoy the sand, enjoy being with your family and friends. And I didn't get I got frustrated for honestly about 5 minutes, in truth, 5 minutes. And I was able, because and this is a learned thing, to be confident enough to
Mhm.
know that it's okay. The world, social media is going to be okay without Michelle Steiner on it for 4 days. Nobody probably even noticed. And I was like, it was a great sign, and just go with it. Just go with it. Obviously, if it's a work function or if it's something that you have to, then yeah, you figure out the problem. But for me, I let it go, and I came back 10 times stronger for it.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing. And you said you sat with it for about 5 minutes, right? And then we gained some different perspective, and that's what I call flipping the script. So that's so great. And I love your reflection of like the last year version of you, and you're recognizing and honoring like the work that you're doing. And you said that it's a learned thing. Like emotional intelligence is really what you're describing, is being able to flip the script, manage your mind for a positive relationship, not only with yourself, our positive self-talk, but also to make an impact on others and be a leader and a role model for the people that are around you. Your children, like they don't, everyone's, I always say, everyone's always watching. And so, I teach a lot of workshops. I'm up in front all the time, right? I'm on camera. I got the microphone. I'm on stage, and gosh, almost every single time something goes wrong with technology. And so I have this hashtag, we love technology. And so part of my self-talk when things go wrong is we love technology, like it's a thing. I love it. If I say that I hate it and I suck at it and it's horrible and blah 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 blah, that does not put me in a space to move forward. It keeps me in the blame and shame and victim stuff, right? So I say, hey, I love technology. And then the second thing I say, I ask myself, who am I going to be in this moment? And because I know that someone's always watching, right? And so, how we respond to things, especially if we have children or we have a team or we have, maybe clients, how you respond to things matters, because we want to be trustworthy and we want to be like, I always describe it as like the steady swan that just like is and I'm a woman, right? I'm like, I want to be a swan, just like gliding across and that's where I want to be calm, I want to be strong, I want to just have this presence, right? And so being able to do that takes a lot of work. And being able to be calm and strong and powerful, and your presence matters because you're trustworthy and you're not like "La, la, la, la," and then oh my life sucks, la, 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 oh my life sucks, right? It's that is not trustworthy, right? And so when we look at leaders and role models, I know the best role models and people that I look up to, my heroes in my life, they didn't freak out, they didn't kick the dog. I always say, like, you hopefully no one is beating their dog, but like, don't kick the dog. Like, don't say things you don't mean. We call that emotional hijacking. So we want to be like cool and steady, right? And yes, we're gonna have really, really good days, and then but we know that there's gonna be some not so good days too, right? So being able to like ride the waves, so we're not like and then our nervous system goes on overload. And then the next day something happens and it takes us off and rips the carpet underneath us. And then we're like, ugh. And people are watching, they feel that energy and they feel that presence within you. So it's a skill that we need to build to be able to flip the script, gain perspective, sit in the moment, understand what's happening, and then move, right? So I love that you're like, hey, let's do this. Let's just enjoy. And you had beautiful content. And I noticed because I love seeing your stuff every day.
Yeah.
So if you're not following Michelle, make sure you're following her. She has such a beautiful life, beautiful family, beautiful businesses now. It's so awesome to be a part of your journey. So I pay attention, but there is power in that pause and unplugging. Do you have any thoughts or comments you'd like to share?
I just want everyone to, we're going into a new month, the new moon, the whole thing. Just take this time, take this last day of March, reset, reflect, and refocus, and
Mm,
start April off in a beautiful, positive way.
oh,
Don't
I
be
love
fooled
that.
by April.
We got some Aprils in our community. Don't be fooled by the month
The
April.
month April, the month April. Yes, just
Reset, refresh, refocus. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you for sharing that.
you're welcome.
Um, Okay, so we have about 10 or 15 more minutes. I want to talk about one more thing. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but really connecting with your environment, whether it be nature, whether it be your home office. So for me, I've been working from home for since 2017. So my home office is my environment. This is my command center. Like that's right. This is where all the magic happens, right? And I think it's really important to have connection with your space, and it has to inspire you. Like I have, if you can see it, those of you who are on camera, you get to see all like my medals. I'm a marathon runner and I'm also a marathon coach and a fitness coach, right? So this inspires me, but it also inspires others because, gosh, what was it, 18 years ago now? 2005, I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't even walk. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I spent 6 months in a wheelchair and I was told I could never be able to walk again without endless amounts of medication that was burning holes in my body. Never did I ever, at that time, at the young age of 22, I thought my life was over. I thought I was never going to be an athlete again. And so these medals mean so much more than every single race. It's much deeper than that. This inspires me to keep going when it's tough, to keep going when I'm tired, right? But also to honor every step and every day of the journey. And I always say like one day at a time, one step at a time, and one rep at a time. Because starting is hard. Starting again is hard. Bouncing back is hard. But we do hard things. And we don't have to do them alone, but we have to create an environment that inspires us to move forward. And so lighting matters, the scents matter, what you put on the walls matter, what you have, like if you're decluttering, that matters. I did an amazing digital decluttering session yesterday, and we were able to clear out so many junk emails and spam emails, organized digitally. I'm going to be doing digital decluttering sessions weekly now on Tuesdays. So if you want that information, let me know. I'll get you access. Totally free. It's a great way to just connect and declutter. So it could mean like clean your underwear drawer out. I did that recently too. That was fun. Like, do you have socks with holes in them? Or do you have the granny panties that maybe you're holding on to that have rips or tears in them? Just saying. You want that next level you, that next level self. It's going to requires a little bit of decluttering and getting rid and clearing the space for that next level you. And so your environment has to inspire you to move forward. If it's dark and dingy and like I have shades here, these black shades, if they're closed, like I'm going to sleep, right? That's my sleepy time. And I have my yoga mat here. I meditate right here. This is where I do the workouts. All the magic happens here when I'm home. And so I've created a space that inspires me. I have my military stuff, all my awards, that inspires me to show others what's possible and keep showing up. Because there was a time that I didn't think I could be able to do what I do. And here I am living the dream. But just one day, one step, rolled up my sleeves and I'm like, what can I do? What else can I do? And so the environment matters. And sometimes not only your home environment, if you're working from home, but if maybe you're working in a cubicle or you have your own office, like decorate it, bring a spice of yourself in there. And like maybe it's a pop of color, maybe it's a poster with a motivational saying that, reminds you of, you know, what you want to work towards. Maybe it's a vision board. Maybe it's a picture of the beach, of the sand that you want to go to just put yourself there. Maybe it's just a freaking happy face, like an emoji of a happy face to remind you to smile each day and find some joy in life. Um, and then sometimes we have to get out of our environment. So we talked about the retreat, maybe getting out. I'd like to go to coffee shops to do some work. Get out of my home office too. We can get really creative when we change our environment and switch it up. So, what are your thoughts on that, Michelle?
I love that. And you had talked about this, I believe, a month ago, and I heard you talking about the decluttering. And one of my biggest obstacles, which is now in the process of being changed, was my home environment, because I had to make a space in my for myself in my garage, which I'm sitting in right now. And when we moved in here, it was just clutter, clutter. And then all of a sudden I have a pile of clothes over here. It's not, believe it or not, as calming as I am and what I do and preach and make jewelry. For me, I need a Zen space. So I'm actually creating, I'm in the process. I just got the paint colors. I'm hiring the painter, and I am going to create a Zen space for me in my garage. Like I'll still have this, my workstation with my computers, but then the other side, I'm turning my mess into an oasis because you taught me that. I need that. I can't always, go to a coffee shop or utilize something. I spend most of my days here in the garage, and it's stressing me out. I have to be honest with you. I've got crystals everywhere. I've got jewelry when I'm looking for so honestly, again, thanks to you, Crystal, or I love how we help each other. You're like, just get a waterfall, create a Zen space. So I'm doing that, and I'm going to film the entire process and give you kudos because you're the one that's like, so just create it. I'm like, oh yeah, I can just create. I'm a creative, and I'm sitting in a mess. So I'm like, yes, I can create it. So even if it's a small change, I'm only taking one little section. I'm not doing a whole big redo. Just take one section at a time, and you can build on it and build on it and build on it until you create your own peaceful environment. So thank you. I can't wait for you to see it.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait either. And I want to come visit in real life too. So yeah, I just love that because I have so many women that I help with workouts too. And I teach home workouts, right? So you don't have to go to a gym and there's no judgment. It's a judgment-free zone in the privacy of your own home. And you don't need any equipment, right? So it's just a yoga mat or a beach towel, a water bottle, and a sweat towel and a positive attitude, right? And they're 30-minute sessions, including warm up and cool down. And so many people are like, well, I don't have room in my house to do that, or like there maybe it's just not the right spot. And so many clients, they're posting their pictures of their new home gym area, and it's inspiring because they're like, this is my spot where I go to for Cruise Beyond Limits. This is my Zen mode. This is my me time. That's my corner. And and I've seen like people literally have a yoga mat, their yoga mat, that is a permanent fixture in the corner of a living room or a spare bedroom or their own bedroom. And it's like, no, this is it. And that is on my team. She's incredible. She puts it on her patio. She has a patio. She lives in Puerto Rico, right on the beach, and she has a beautiful home. She started doing on the beach picnics too, by the way. So if y'all are going to Puerto Rico or want to go to Puerto Rico, definitely get in touch with Annette. But she is in my program. She does workouts with me, and she has a fixture of her yoga mat in her patio on the beach. Now there was a hurricane not too long ago, and she literally had like there was no power, the whole island was out, and she's like, she had a generator. She lives in this beautiful home, and there's like a complex, and she had to like literally find a way to like plug in to charge her phone to get to the workout. And she like moved her yoga mat into the hallway, like this tiny little space that wasn't covered in water, and she did it. And it's just like, sometimes it's just a yoga mat, or maybe it's just your crystals, maybe it's your favorite water bottle, maybe it's just something that you can bring like to your space that says, that's my space. And especially working from home, like it everything bleeds, our boundaries are bleeding everywhere, right? And so if I know that when I sit at this command center, like it's game on, right? And if I want to just have fun and maybe surf or, just get creative, I'm going to take my laptop somewhere else. I know that when I put shoes on and I go to the yoga mat, like that's game on, and you're going to see a different side of Crystal in my workouts. So just recognize what you need. And that goes back to, point number one. What do you need to feel the most creative, to feel your best self? And then create the environment. And that might mean like having a conversation with your spouse or your children and saying, you know what? No, we're gonna clean this up because I need me to be at 100%. And in order to do that, we got to declutter, or we got to create a space that I can feel inspired by. So thank you for those thoughts. I hope this is helping. I'd love to. I can't always see all the comments. I'm seeing a lot of comments from Facebook, a couple here on Instagram, or not Instagram, on LinkedIn. So if you're catching this on replay too, shout yourself out. I'd love to connect with you. Post any comments that you have, any questions, and I'll make sure that I continue to engage with you after this session. So today's message is really the power of the presence, right? And really recognizing when you put yourself, your health, your needs, your environment, and you take the time to create that pausing moment for yourself, that moment of where it's not loneliness, it's finding other parts of you, right? And I think so many times people are worried to be alone. They fear the thought of being alone in their thoughts. And what mostly comes up, because I train a lot of women on obviously the mindset and emotional intelligence, and helping them move forward and create a path for themselves. What happens is we live sometimes in fear because of our past, and we have some shame and some guilt, um, and there's fear back there, right? And so some of us are living in the past, and then some of us are really spending time in worry about what the future is going to look like, and that anxiety and that, like, I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I don't know if I'm going to have enough money, or I don't know what's going to happen to my business. I don't know what's going to happen to the real estate. I don't know what's happening with politics and what's happening in the world. Like, there's so much worry about what could happen. And this is where there's fear, and then there's worry. And in between is today, is your presence. And so if you practice these things and you really spend the time, like people are always like, Crystal, where do you get this energy from? You have this light, you have this presence when you walk in the room. And your body language will show the amount of work and the amount of presence and the amount of mindfulness and the amount of time that you spend with yourself. This is the confidence, this is the knowing, the inner work. This is the work, right? So that you can stay in the present and not worry and not fearful. We're here today, and all we can do is be better than yesterday and do what we can with what we've got, and really practice the mindfulness and reach out, be intentional, so that we can live a more fulfilling life, less stress, less overwhelm. And that leads to, guess what? Less times to the doctor. Like, if anything else, like illness, emergency rooms, depression, anxiety. I'm telling you, I've been dealing with people that are suicidal. Like, this is not fun. It's scary. It's a scary time right now. And so we need to practice the mindfulness and the presence. And we need to take care of one another. And the more you do this work on yourself, the more you practice this, the more you're able to see it in others and be able to catch them and help give them the tools that you're putting in your tool belt. And this is what I call the ripple effect of the Cruise Beyond Limits way. So you get to learn these skills, you get to practice them, you do them in community, and then you catch it with others and you say, like, let's talk. Let's get in community. Let me share with you the tools that helped me. These are the tools that helped me, and I want to share them. And I have a message, and I really want to get this out to as many people as possible, because now that I study this and I do this work constantly, so I see it. Like, this is my world all the time. So I see so much hurt, so much pain, so much anxiety, so much depression everywhere I go. And I want to be able to deliver tangible, tactical tools to move you forward in short in that time of self-doubt. So if someone needs to hear this message today, if someone needs some Cruise Beyond Limits in the world, please, please share this with them. Don't be selfish. I'm not selfish. I'm here. I'm here sharing these gifts. I have endured a lot in my life, and I did not always take my life and my health seriously. And I have experienced burnout and depression and illness and injury, cancer, wheelchair, stress, anxiety, all of it. All right. And so I have been able to unpeel these layers. So I want to shorten this time for you. So, Michelle, thank you so much for being here. I would love to continue a conversation. If y'all have questions, please comment, shout out where you're coming from. because the world needs you at 100%, and the world needs you to share this message with the people that need it, the people that you love, the people that you care about. And you need you at 100% so that you can pour into others. So, Michelle, I'd love for you to share any final thoughts, comments. I'm getting all these dings on my computer. It's coming up to the top of the hour. So, I'd love to hear from you. What are your last parting thoughts and tips for our community?
Absolutely. And, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me as your guest today, Crystal Laura. Like I said, I always love hearing your voice. And, I just want to give you a shout out and a plug as my closing words, because ever since you've entered my life, um, which it's funny because it's been a short time, but I feel like I've known you. And that is the beauty of a community, or finding, look, some people are going to stick, some people aren't. It's like seasons, some friends are there for a season, some of them are there for all 4 seasons. But right now, where my feet are standing, Crystal Laura's in my life right now. And whether you know this or not, you have changed my life. You've changed my mindset. Waking up almost every morning to Good Morning Sunshine from Crystal Laura, what a better way to start your day. I feel your energy and your voice and your words and everything that you say. You know, and I love the fact that you said this wasn't always me. You were in a wheelchair, you battled cancer, you've battled relationships, you've been through the fields before, and now you're able to take that and impact someone like myself. And everything that we all bring to the community and different things is, it's just so impressive. But I just know that your voice, and I hope, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying this out loud or not, but I hope to God you make a meditation soundbite at some point, because just hearing your voice or seeing your words grounds me on a daily basis. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I actually just did my first guided meditation in my community. So I'll share the link with you. I did
Yes.
a 30-minute stretch and a mindfulness meditation,
Yay.
and it was my first one because I've been practicing meditation for years now, and it has changed my life. And then I'm like, I think I can try this. I think I could do this. So I did, and so I do have the recording. It's like a 7-minute blip. So if anybody wants that, I'd be happy to share that. Thank you for your kind words, and it's just such a pleasure and an honor to be a part of your world and your journey. And we all inspire each other each and every day just by showing up powerfully and doing the hard things, doing it messy, like just showing up, figuring out technology, coming on board here last minute. Thank you so much. And so, for those of you who are new to this message, new to our world, please make sure you follow myself and Michelle. Michelle, are you able to put your Instagram back up? I'm missing. Oh, you know what? Hang on one second. Let me. We love technology. We love technology. We love technology. Let's hide this. Comments, hide comments. There we go. Okay, so there we go. When I had the Facebook comment up there, someone wished you a happy birthday, by the way. Happy
Oh,
early
thank you.
birthday. um so I wasn't sure if you could see that. But so our Instagram, I'm the cruise at the cruise coach. I'm the Crystal Laura Cruise on all other socials. Please reach out, send me a message. If you need to connect with Michelle, definitely follow her. And if you need help with your Pinterest, or you don't know how to use it, where to start, definitely reach out to Michelle or myself, and we'll get you in touch. And let's ignite your fire. So if you need support in any area of life, fitness, or business, let's help you move forward and take action today, because the world needs you. The world needs your message. The world needs more of you at 100%. So I love you all. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. We will be back next Friday for Freedom Friday. If you would like to be a guest on my show, and or you have ideas for topics that you'd like me to cover, and with my best tips, and have experts like Michelle bring her best tips, so we can have a just open, honest, authentic, candid conversation about the good, bad, and everything in between. So send me a message. I'd love to connect with you. Michelle, thank you so much. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. I can't wait to see your Zen room, and we'll chat soon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have a great
you.
day.